Wow. I am really behind. As I am recording this, the little date clock thingy here on the computer says it's the 30th, and I'm going to talk about books that came out on the week of the 5th of July, 2017. Shit happens, folks. Just got to find time to do this. Alright, we're going to start with the indies, then go through Marvel, and then end with DC. Okay, start with Boundless Comics. Probably the only title I buy from Boundless whenever they find the time to release it. We're going to look at Belladonna Annual 2017. Yeah, this will be the only title I'll buy from Boundless Comics. All the rest of the stuff has just gotten weak, and they relaunched the character of Ember, which I wanted to see her in a solo series, but I guess for some reason they've decided to put her in a pairing with the Lookers, and I just don't care. Fuck the jungle fantasy shit. That's nothing but pen-up art with words on it. There's no actual storytelling on there. Whereas here, yes, it is X-rated. I look at this as like an X-rated Red Sonja. This has got lots of sex. It's got lots of gore. But it actually has character progression, character development. It actually has an ongoing story to it. It's not the best stuff in the world, but at least it's there, and it kind of feels realistic in a sick sadistic way. I don't know why I feel that way, because I look at storytelling like this, and I think to myself, maybe this is how Vikings and warriors and stuff really behaved back in those days. We don't fucking know. But this was very entertaining. You know, Belladonna goes on a quest with her troops to attack the tribe that has the Bone Queen and everything like that. And she's like, turn the seas red. You know, it's just cheeseball Viking commands and yells. It just feels really weird, but very entertaining at the same time. Very well done. The second story with the gypsy on her quest to hunt down Belladonna, that stuff was pretty good too. But then for shits and giggles, they decided, since this is an annual, to retell the main story completely over again, scene for scene, word for word, panel for panel. It's just the only difference is, for shits and giggles, they decided to make all the female characters nude in the story. It's the exact same story. It's the exact same drawings. It's the exact same story progression. It's just nobody's wearing any clothes the second telling around. Usually I would go, stuff like that, but I'm actually going at that kind of shit. Because it's silly, it's stupid, but it's fun. It's still a fun story with lots of good violence, and I want to believe that this was a bitch and sword fight between Belladonna and Bone Queen. Excuse me. Good stuff, though. Like I said, not the best stuff in the world, but for what it was entertaining. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Gem and the Holograms, the Misfits, Part 2 of the Infinite storyline. Now, for those of you who know me on Facebook, I actually finally got down to it. I finally, for the first time, watched the first episode of the original Gem and the Holograms cartoon. Oh my god, that cartoon is bad. It's bad. I'm sure in the early 80s it was probably one of the best cartoons going, but yeah, it just, oh my god, it was kind of painful to watch at some points. Maybe I'm being harsh on it. I didn't watch it growing up in the 80s. I passed on it. I always thought it was a girl. I looked at it as a girly cartoon, and then I heard people, once the comic came out, I heard people saying, well, the cartoon was good too, and I just never got around to watching the cartoon. And when I finally did, I'm like, ugh, this is bad. Then again, He-Man, one of my favorite cartoons of all time, isn't really known for its stellar animation, if you know what I mean. But as far as this story goes, part 2 of Infinite, Jem and the Holograms and the Misfits are in this alternate reality. And not only do they find out what the Jem and the Holograms of this reality are perceived as, but the Misfits learn something really big about the holograms, and I'm not going to ruin what that is. But how this reality's holograms are perceived, they're almost like gods to some people, and only people who buy and wear their merchandise are allowed to live amongst the rest of the people, whereas the people who can't afford their stuff, or people who don't, praise to the holograms and stuff, live out in the wilderness away from society. And it's just like, holy shit, that's kind of harsh. But the storytelling in here is really good. I'm still loving the relationship between Kimber and Stormer. That's cute as shit. I love it. Good stuff. Very entertaining, very charming, very cute, very fun. Nothing else to say. 3.5 out of 5 as well. My Little Pony Legends of Magic number 4. This was also really good. This tells the story of Flash Magnus. I'm sorry, but that sounds like a porn name. I'm sorry. But nothing will ever top Lester the Molester cockin' stuff. But yeah, Flash Magnus. Magnus. Ugh. That also sounds like a wrestler's name. Flash Magnus. Yeesh. But, yeah, this was very fun as well. I liked it. It's like, it's a story of, sometimes there comes a time when you shouldn't follow orders if you feel like you're doing something that you feel is the right thing to do. It's one of the oldest lessons that has ever been told. It's like sometimes you just got to make decisions for yourself. That was pretty much the gist of the story, and it was done very well. It gets a 3.5 as well. All New Wolverine, number 22. Laura and Gabby come across the Guardians of the Galaxy, and in here, all kinds of crazy shit's going on in here. The Brood are stepping into the storytelling in here, and all I'm going to say is the cliffhanger at the end, god damn. Good stuff. A 3.5 as well. Nothing else to say. Let's keep on moving with Avengers number 9. Where is Thor? Now, this takes place during the Secret Empire storyline after Captain America took Thor's hammer and declared himself worthy of it and all that shit. But this is basically telling us where she ended up. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't really feeling this that much. It was nice to see Thor trying to hold her own without the hammer, yet, due to 100% plot convenience, she's in a reality where she doesn't need her hammer to maintain her form as Thor. That just completely reeks of plot convenience, because what is she truly gonna do as sickly, dying Jane Foster? There's no storytelling to that, so of course you're gonna have her as Thor. Of course you're gonna break or bend that rule about her keeping her hammer and everything, because plot, and because Marvel wants our $4 for this book. That's pretty much the only reason why they chose to bend that rule about her needing her hammer to maintain her form. But as far as the story on itself, it was good. It was good. There's a time when she finds there's a possible way for her to get back, but she puts it aside to help out somebody who was willing to help her. A symbol of a true hero. Very well done. Then again, this didn't really grip me the way I felt like it should. Maybe the plot convenience maybe the over-reliance on the plot convenience to keep her in her form as Thor, because it just sells better when she looks like this. Maybe that kind of cramped the book a little bit for me. So at best, I give it a 3. At best. Champions number 10. This book was eh. This book was just there. This is taking place during the Secret Empire stuff. You know, they're breaking into an Inhuman camp or something like that, and everything looks all right, but then looks can be deceiving, and they're hunting down, they're trying to find Ms. Marvel, and it looks like they found her, but according to this book, it's not her, but for some reason, she has the same name, she has the same look, she has the same fucking costume, but apparently in here, it's stated more than once that it's not really Ms. Marvel, it's just some girl that looks exactly like her, who has the exact same fucking name, Kamala, but it's not her. I didn't get it. This issue was just weird, and it really did nothing for me. It felt like it was just there. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. It was kind of disappointing. Fucking ridiculous. Daredevil number 23. Fuck yeah. Now this was good. Oh my god. The way this issue began with Wilson Fisk meeting with his new lawyer, Legal. And he's in the gym hitting the punching bag and everything. He's like going over how well he knows the law and why he should hire and everything like that. And as he keeps punching this punching bag and everything, he's, you know, breaking up a sweat. He keeps on working out and everything. And, you know, Fisk is like, well, you're hired. As far as the bag, I can always get a new one because the punching bag starts bleeding. Oh, fuck. Only the fucking Kingpin will stuff a punching bag with something other than sand. Jesus Christ. That scene alone was badass. And then you're throwing in Tombstone, and you're throwing in the Hulk, the former She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. You're throwing her in the mix. Plus you got Matt trying to build up his case to help superheroes testify without having to unleash their secret identity to the world like he did a long time ago. Man, this is just really captivating storytelling. This is really, really good. Is it as good as Wade's run was? Absolutely not. But this was really very well told, very well executed. This was an awesome issue. I really loved this one. It's a 4 out of 5. Let's keep on rolling. Jessica Jones, number 10. This is one of the better titles on the Marvel shelf because it feels more realistic. You know, it feels like this is the way people in New York would talk to each other, you know, with all the shits and fucks and goddams and screw yous and shit like that. People in New York seem to talk more like that. I know somebody, my bro, TheMtVernonKid, he lives in New York. He probably has heard a few people talk with a very snarky tone to their voice. I'm sure he's heard that before. But it's not just like that. It's not just like that in New York. People all over the country talk to each other like this, and it feels more realistic. Yeah, it's not exactly necessary to help sell a comic book, but when you're throwing in a little bitty plot twist like that, a little bitty plot point like that, it feels more realistic. You know, it's like when you're coming across somebody you don't like, odds are you're going to say, you know, screw you. You're going to say shit like that, you know? And the stuff in here with Maria Hill, my God, this woman's a bitch. And when Jessica's doing some digging on Maria Hill, she literally gets thrown through a fucking window. But I'm not going to ruin who does it. And the way the issue ended, though, was kind of, but it was still very well done. Good stuff. It's not the strongest issue of Jessica Jones, but it still was really solid for what it was. I enjoyed it. I think you'll enjoy the series as well. Good stuff. I'd give it a 4, just barely a 4. Now, if I did best covers of the week thing like that, which I'm not going to, but if I did, this one would get it. Spider-Man number 18. Jesus Christ. Hang on, I got the fan blowing and papers going all over the place. Spider-Man number 18. God damn, that cover is awesome. Seeing Miles against the wall with blood running down his hands. This was a solid issue. This was good. Gold balls. Gold balls! This dude is fucking awesome. You know, it's like point, 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 point. I've never seen him spout out so many gold balls but he's going up against fucking Hammerhead, and I still the scene with Miles and his mother, that was very gripping, very dramatic. I liked it. The stuff with the Black Cat is still bugging the ever-loving shit out of me because her gripes with Spider-Man, it just comes off very petulant and very childish. Miles Morales had absolutely nothing to do with what happened between you and Doc Ock when he was in Peter's body. Miles had nothing to do with that, but because he's dressed like a Spider-Man, you automatically hate him when you know fucking nothing about him, and it makes the character look petulant. It weakens the character development of the Black Cat, and quite honestly, fuck you, Marvel, for keeping on doing her this way. But still a strong issue nonetheless. Very well done. Awesome cover. Good drama in here. I enjoyed it. Despite the fact that you're getting another one of these, Marvel, for what you're doing to Black Cat. A 3.5 out of 5. Star Wars number 33. Unfortunately, I accidentally missed out on the finale of the Screaming Citadel. Hopefully, I can get the finale of that storyline back ordered so I can figure out what the fuck happened. But in here, it's basically Luke and Leia surviving on their own. And honestly, this felt kind of weak compared to other Star Wars stuff we've been getting. It's just Luke and Leia surviving in the wild kind of storytelling, and it was good, but compared to how well this series has been, this is honestly, in my opinion, honest opinion from my brain and my heart, it really does feel like one of the weaker issues of the series. Maybe I'm being harsh on it because I didn't see how the Screaming Citadel ended, so maybe I'm not being totally fair to it, but for what it was on its own, I just wasn't feeling it that much. And I'll be nice and I'll be fair and give it above an average score. I'll give it a 3. X-Men Gold number 7. Shit. The more you throw at the X-Men, it's just going to make them stronger. But my God, did they got to put up with a lot of shit. Long story short, there's a mutant serial killer on the loose in the mansion. Well, the serial killer is not a mutant. He is a serial killer of mutants. And he's already killed some. I'll go ahead and give that away. But the fucking cliffhanger at the end, I know issue 8 has been out already, but oh my God, that fucking cliffhanger with Colossus. Why? Piotr, why do you gotta continue to do shit like this? You're fucking killing me, Smalls. Good issue, though. I give it a 4. Let's move on to Batman number 26. It's the next part of the War of Jokes and Riddles. I gotta say, the interior artwork is fantastic. The writing is so well done. The focus is on Joker and Riddler in here. And my God, do these two ever fucking hate each other? The Joker flat out just said he wants Riddler dead. So there's something that the Joker does in here that I'm just going, oh. And he does it to, of all people, fucking Carmine Falcone. Falcone! I'm not going to ruin what he did to Falcone. This time, Joker ain't playing. He ain't joking. He's dead fucking serious, and God help anybody that crosses his path. Riddler's already taken a bullet literally from him. And Riddler's out for blood on the Joker as well. It's just like, it's like the War of Jokes and Riddles. I get it now. The Joker and the Riddler are at war amongst each other, and Batman just happens to be in the middle of that shit. When I first read the solicitations and the teasers and everything for this story, I thought it was going to be a team up. You know, Joker and Riddler teaming up against Batman. No, man, was I wrong. This was good. This was really good. And once again, the interior artwork is fantastic. This easily gets a 4 out of 5 for me. Bombshells, number 30. Magical versus mythical. Continuing to go with the cute stuff here. This was very good stuff. I liked the little bit with Superman and everything. I thought that was pretty cute. I thought that was all right. But what really tells the story is the stuff involving, Killer Frost. It's just very well done, and we get another big arrival from another familiar DC character in the Bombshells universe. I'll go ahead and spoil it. Swamp Thing finally arrives. Nice. Very nice. A cute issue. I mean, the series continues to be what it is. Fun and cute and entertaining as hell. And God bless Marjorie Bennett for her work on this title. It's just really, really fun. Is it meant to be the best stuff ever told? No. But it's meant to be fun, it's meant to be cute, and it's meant to be entertaining. And it was all of that. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Green Lanterns, number 26. This is the story of the first ring, or the first rings. This is a backstory of how Volthoom got his ring and his lantern to working alongside Rami of the Guardians and everything. This is basically, a storytelling that was billions of years ago. And my God, it was good. It was very captivating. I really dug it. And I like the fact that they touched on that the Guardians, at this point, they're not midgets yet, because they're only starting to shrink now at this point in the story. They're only starting to shrink because they've shed all their emotions. Their emotions is what made them the same size as people like me and you and stuff like that. Because they shed their emotions, they are slowly starting to shrink. This is the beginning of their shrinking in here. And because there's even a scene where Rami's trying to reach up on something on the shelf, and he's like, I used to be able to reach that. It's just the little things in there that help keep the storytelling help keep the storytelling flowing in a nice direction. But how Volthoom gets his power ring to actually work and everything, that was really good. And seeing the progression of how it drove him nearly to the brink of insanity and everything, that was also very well told and everything. We're taking a break from the Simon and Jessica stuff to tell this story, and it was done very well. I'll give it a 3.5 as well. Popsicle. You got a popsicle?
Popsicle.
Oh, popsicle. Popsicle. You enjoy your popsicle. Nice. Okay. Sorry, guys. That was for my eyes only. What? And now the dog's in here. All right. Sorry for that distraction. Going to Harley Quinn, number 23. Long story short, it's Harley out on a dinner night with her folks, and she brought Goat Boy as her companion for the dinner date, and she gets ambushed. That's pretty much it. There's a scene with Red Tool talking to Poison Ivy, and he's asking Poison Ivy for help with Harley, and she goes, well, if it's anything involving my sweet pea, then I'll be glad to help. There's love there. The second story with Paul Dini's writing with Joker and Harley, that stuff was pretty fun as well. It's basically Harley's doing more of her own work without the Joker's knowledge, and that's going to come back to bite her in the ass. Especially considering what happens to her at the end of that story. This was, honestly, this issue was kind of just there. It wasn't bad, but then again, it wasn't really that great. I give it a 2.5, an average at best. Let's move on to Nightwing, number 24. Well, a good story with a bullshit cliffhanger. How stupid do you fucking think we are, DC? You're really gonna end it on a cliffhanger supposedly killing Nightwing off, when he's got solicitations out the ass in the preview books and everything like that Do you honestly expect us to believe you were actually going to kill Nightwing off in a random issue? Give me a fucking break. The only question was, when I initially read this issue, was what kind of bullshit story or bullshit excuse are you going to use to say that he survived the explosion miraculously? That was my initial question when I initially read this issue. When you give us bullshit cliffhangers like this, it's very, very silly. And the drama that you're going for just doesn't, it's just not there for me when we already know what the outcome is. Of course he's going to survive. Unless you give us a 900 number to call and say, hey, we want him dead like we did with Jason Todd. It just isn't going to happen. And even if they were to kill Nightwing off, I'm sure there was going to be some lame-ass story on how they could resurrect him and all that shit. Just in time for the Defacer to dump his ass. Not a bad issue, though. It's just that cliffhanger really, that's really silly cliffhanger kind of ruined it for me. I give it a 3 at the very best. We're ending this stack with Superman number 26. A simple moral of the story is learn from your mistakes. And that was pretty much the gist of this. It was very well executed. We got to see flashbacks of Clark's past when he was in his childhood, thinking he could use his powers to help his parents with the farm and everything. But there comes, sometimes powers can come with a price. And sometimes we don't always need to rely on our most basic of powers to get the job done. You know, being a superhero requires more than just brute strength and punching. And Superboy learns that the hard way. You know, Clark is trying to tell him, you know, it's like, hey, it's good that you have these powers, but you need to learn how to use them wisely. You shouldn't just fly into a battle blindly, not having a strategy. You can have all the powers in the world, but when it comes to a battle, you still need to strategize. You still need to carefully execute what you're going to do. Because sometimes shit happens. That was pretty much the gist of this issue, and the creative team did a very nice job telling it. Very well done. I got no complaints about this issue. I mean, it wasn't the best stuff in the world, but I really dug it, and I give this a 4 out of 5. All right, folks, that's all I got for this stack, everybody. I'm going to try my best to get caught up on these. Just got to find the time to do them. Just recently got over a nasty stomach bug, too. Otherwise, this would have been done a lot sooner than it actually has been done. All right. Please subscribe to this channel. Don't forget Blugoblin X. I need to do something about that channel. I need to do something. I'll think of something, I promise. Don't forget Lenora 2003. Watch her Crazy Crab videos. Y'all know about the shout-outs to my bros down there, TheMtVernonKid, Deadpoolzilla, and Brandon Hex. Check out Arkham Asylum Studio as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hail Hydra. See y'all later. Take care.